Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Crafting Conversations. Welcome in Byewill. He is hosting the Meadowgloom Manor event. He's also playing the character of Lord Byewill himself, the host and owner of this epic party. And I'm very excited for this event. I've been seeing it, like all over Twitter. I think everyone in the Minecraft space has been kind of seeing this event all over their Twitter for like the past few weeks. It's been pretty big
Oh yeah.
for
Oh yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's been a shock. It's been a shock. Baloney.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested if you could just kind of give like a little background of what the event exactly is, because I feel like a lot of people don't actually know because of how much is just kind of in bits and pieces, like kind of spread it around Twitter. So I'd love if you could just give like a little background to the event there.
Oh yeah, sure thing. All right, yeah. So Meadowgloom Manor is a one-day creator event. It is a murder mystery set in 1920s Prohibition America, where Lord Byewill has invited 22 of the most esteemed individuals on this side of the earth to his extravagant manor in the Gordy Mountain Range. And after quite a rocky uh quite a rocky night, a murder happens. Who's murdered and what happens, I won't say, because we haven't started or done the event yet, but
Yeah.
there is in fact a murder.
There is one.
um yes. This event, so I've done one event in the past. I did a civ event called Zombie Civilization. It was like a more of a player focused civ event. But this is the first time I've ever dove into the realm of a creator event. And it's been wildly successful. I got here not that long ago. Like I'm a very new content creator actually. And I just sent out invites, and a lot of people I wasn't expecting to get back did in fact get back to me, and here we are.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So I'm really interested on what kind of inspired the event. Obviously, there's a lot of kind of murder mystery kind of shows out there. One of my favorite ones is like
Mhm.
The Traders. Obviously, there's like Among Us, which is a game, and also you have like the animated
Yeah.
show. I wonder if there was like specific like shows, movies, or like kind of maybe even YouTube videos that kind of inspired you when you were coming up with this event and stuff.
Yes. So I have always, because I mean, I've been making content like as Byewill for a while, but I've always wanted to do Minecraft content, and I've always wanted to do something like this. There's been like bits and like parts of like wanting to host some sort of like extravagant ball for creators and do something like really roleplay heavy. And after we finished Zombie Civ back in March, I was ideating with my team on like, all right, what do we do next? And originally, Meadowgloom Manor was supposed to be a smaller event, and it ended up not being a small event. We ended up developing it for a long time, but it just kind of came from years of wanting to do a creator-centric event that with like a bunch of like extravagant individuals of different backgrounds. I was inspired by some forms of media in the space. It is pretty obvious that this is inspired by a little bit by Ivory series. Oh my God. White Pine. It took me a second.
Yeah, sure.
I watched the first episode of White Pine. I won't say I've watched too much of it. I definitely need to do some catch up. But I mean, White Pine is a very similar universe, similar time period, similar vibe, and that was definitely an inspiration. Me and my team watched. If anyone knows the movie Knives Out, that one is also a big inspiration. I adore that movie. If you haven't heard of it, I seriously recommend you look it up. It's and watch it. It's really good. It's a fantastic murder mystery. Um, Sort of like flipped on its head. But we did that, and also, oh, and before I even forget, The Great Gatsby was also a massive inspiration. I read that book back in high school. I was forced to. But the Lord Byewill character is essentially supposed to be the Great Gatsby. He's this like eccentric, millionaire that came from nowhere that nobody really knows about. And I took a lot of inspiration. We actually watched the Great Gatsby movie from I think it was 2013, like DiCaprio's. Um, he played it, and it's really funny. and also pretty kind of bad. It's kind of a bad movie. It's kind of like a really bad movie, but it's fun. But yeah, those were the main inspirations. Those three.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I really like that because I was just because the aesthetic and all of the things that I've been seeing. Mentioning The Great Gatsby, yeah, Lord Byrill's character, uh, really is kind of like a Great
Yes,
Gatsby,
sir.
especially in the way of him kind of being a little bit closed off. I mean, his mansion's in like these big mountains. It's kind of hard to be more closed off than that.
Oh yeah.
Especially with, I mean, the mansion for like in the context of the lore and like the story hasn't had visitors for a very long time. It's been empty other than him and his lady. So it's like honestly insane to see.
Yeah, yeah, it was really. There's one character related to. It is definitely the Great Gatsby. I mean, the Lord Byewill name, obviously, it is my online alias, but Lord Byewill isn't his real name. It's supposed to be a like the same thing as a Great Gatsby name, where its name's not literally the Great Gatsby. And
Yeah,
I
for
will
sure.
never actually reveal what Lord Bywill's true name is, because all the other guests have a first and last name. Lord Byewill does not, and that will not be revealed ever,
Interesting.
as part of the mystique.
Yeah, very interesting. Another thing that I'm interesting, kind of in that same vein of like inspiring, is the overall like vibe of the mansion. It's like this 1920s mansion. As you mentioned earlier, the entire thing is kind of set in 1920s Prohibition America. So I was wondering if there's anything that kind of inspired that. You mentioned the other series, like that you just mentioned, was also set in a similar time period. I was wondering if that was the main inspiration or if there's kind of other things that inspired you to set it in the 1920s.
Honestly, Gatsby was probably the main inspiration for the time period, though White Pine obviously does is a really good like case, not case study, but it's like it's a good case scenario to show how it works so well. And obviously the 1920s just in general are in my opinion, it's one of the best times to host a murder mystery story because the world isn't very connected. Obviously a major thing about any murder mystery in this setting, like in a manor, somebody dies and the guests have to figure it out, is like call the police, like just call the cops. But in 1920, it's a lot, there's a lot less going on. Technologically, nobody has like a smartphone to record things. There's no cameras or anything. It's a lot more of like if you are stuck in a manor in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, it is exceedingly difficult to go and get help externally. So it's a mix of the inspiration, like it's a mix of the content that inspired the series and also just the circumstance and the storytelling that comes from such a time period.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's really interesting because the build of the mansion is honestly like beautiful. It was done really well.
Yes.
I saw the post from the person who built it. If you could credit them because they're exceptional.
Oh, 100%. So the build was made by a team of 17 builders. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think that's including the lead. So it might be 18. I don't know if it's 17 or 18. And we have the build lead is my longtime friend, Alice. She doesn't actually exist that much in the Minecraft content space. She just likes building, and I've just known her since I was in like either middle school or like freshman year of high school. So I've known her for a very long time, and she's always been doing builds and stuff for me for my stupid projects. And this is the first time where one of those stupid projects ended up actually being quite extensive, and she killed it. And the entire team killed it. Um, they're all extremely talented. That manor was built completely from the ground up from the build team, and I mean it's a massive maze. It is just a massive maze of winding corridors. I mean, there's literally two mazes outside of it, and the four edge mazes. But no, I mean, yeah, it's an extravagant build, and it was built by them, and all props to them. They did an insanely good job.
I was wondering if there's any mansions, like real life mansions or like fictional mansions that you kind of took like
There
inspiration on for
is.
building those. Yeah, I'm really interested in that.
There is. I don't have the name though, which sucks. That would be an Alice question.
Yeah.
It was. I know that she sent. There was like a picture. There was one specific mansion. I think I recall Alice mentioning a specific manor, and she was like, "This one is a really good reference," and that was the one we referenced for mainly the like the roofing and the exterior. Um, I just don't remember the name, but there was a reference. We did go off of that. real
Yeah, anything
architecture.
for the interior there as well, maybe? Or
The
just
interior, we just winged it. I mean, the builders probably looked up images of like random, like rooms to base it off of, but the interior is probably the most interesting part, or one of the most interesting parts of the event that isn't the story, because it is more of a maze than the hedge maze. It is impossible to navigate that. Like it is so difficult, and that was the point. Um, but yeah, no, honestly, it's like a hodgepodge of different building styles, which is exactly what I wanted. So no real inspiration, just the builders kind of going ham.
yeah, for sure. And one of the things that I found most interesting, other than like the physical mansion, all the story stuff, is the characters. I mean, you have an
Yes.
insane cast lineup. You were talking that you're even shocked by the cast you got lined up. I mean, I have
Oh,
this written on my
100%.
notes here. Let me pull it up. 7 of the members were previous participants in like ish civilization events, and there's a ton of other people probably civilization events that I missed. And then you have a mixture of kind of smaller, lesser known creators that you kind of felt deserved spots. So I'm really interested in kind of what was your decision to sending out all of these invites and what made you decide on this group of creators and think that they would fit together well in a story.
I have a master list of all the creators, so I can actually go through really quick and
Wow.
tell you what happened. So to put it really like simply, it was so how the event started was I had a want to have 10 to 20 create like maximum 20. Because we started this process back in, I want to say, it was the first block Alice said was placed in March, and we started creator invites and sent them out in April. So we originally had the idea to have like 10 to 20 participants, and we made a list of creators from like people I knew personally and people who I had collabed with previously, all the way up to creators who were like completely out of our reach. And because we wanted this to be a cool event, and since it was a 1 day event, it's a lot easier to get people on board because it's not a massive commitment, compared to some other like longer form or longer series that go over the course of months. So we sent out a mixture of invites. I had a couple people in mind of those smaller creators that I wanted in the event. One of those is Kai Caesar. Him and me, or like he played a big role in my Zombie Civ event, and I got to know him quite a lot. And he is quite the goofy character, and I like dragging him along to other things. So he's like one of those examples of people who kind of came out of nowhere just because I knew him and I consider him a friend. Um, but some other big creators, we originally sent out the invites thinking they honestly wouldn't get back to us. And this is no shame to them. This wasn't like it was nothing against them. I like shooting for the stars because sometimes when you shoot for the stars, it actually hits. And very surprisingly, almost all of the invites hit. I was not expecting to get a message back from Pear or Saparata or Flux because I just presumed that it would be too hard to get in touch. And even though I had some connections, like I knew Ish at the time and stuff, I didn't think that I'd be able to get to them. And surprisingly, a lot of them got back to me. So it was kind of a mix of reaching and also just me inviting people I just genuinely enjoyed. And just a little bit of like reaching out to new creators. I actually didn't know Zombre. Like Zombre is a really good example of somebody I had no prior understanding of. For some of the so yeah, so essentially it just boiled down to like we made a massive mixture of like creators that I personally knew, and like I hosted a series before this, a very very small niche series in Terraria called Byraria, and a bunch of the creators from here were like people who played in Byraria, and they kind of knew me through that. Like I met Zappy Nubs through Byraria. Zappy Nubs was like a big player. Mads V surprisingly really enjoyed Byraria, and some of the other creators. So it was a mix of people from Byraria, a mix of new faces like I mentioned Zombre. Zombre was someone who I only knew through. I knew her through a Benji event that I didn't end up really getting to participate much in because I just was so busy, and I I was talking with my the project manager for this. His name's Kappa. I'm very close with him. And I was talking with Kappa about like how I wanted to like also extend outside of like the typical like state community creators and find some like other fresh faces. And I don't know, I thought Zombre's branding was pretty cool. So I was like, I'll reach out to Zombre, why not? And so that worked out. Yeah, it was a mix of like all that stuff. And then we ended up with just I was sitting in call with the team when we handed out the invites. We were all in a call together, and we saw we saw like Saparata and RoyalPear join. We were collectively losing it. It was
It's
insane.
great. Good
So
to hear.
yeah, so it just that dumb luck. That's your answer. It was dumb luck.
Yeah,
That's how I got this cast.
I can get that because when I'm sending out podcast invites, there's people that I send out invites to, and I think, oh no, there's no way this person's ever gonna want to
Hmm.
come on podcast with me or anything. Like you, I thought that. But like, and when I was sending
Oh.
one to Turkey, I was like, there's no way the person who just made this massive musical is gonna just casually join my podcast. Turkey is someone who I expected really not to respond because obviously I just gave him a channel. I said I had a podcast. There was no videos on it. And I was like, come out. And he's like, sure, why not?
I
So
mean,
I
there's a real
totally get
power
that.
in just reaching for the star.
Yeah.
Anybody here who hears this and is who wants to do things with creators, I genuinely suggest you just reach out. So many more get back to you than you think. So many are just interested in cool new projects. It is genuinely worth the time. Worth the time. The worst thing they can say is no, or they just don't respond, and that's not really that bad of an outcome. I've gotten many rejections. It is, and I'm completely fine. So
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yeah, for sure. That's really interesting to hear because like reaching out to just all these big creators, not even expecting like responses. It was really interesting to hear that. And obviously a lot of the ish people you knew because you've been in the
Yes,
Purge one,
yes, I
which is
have.
a really cool event, which I'm
Oh yeah.
dying to see the video for eventually because I've kept myself spoiler free for any of like the story that's come out.
Ooh, okay.
So
I can't say anything then.
I'm very excited to see what happens when it comes out in the next like 9 years.
Yeah, I remember. Not sure. I almost said Spchood. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. I remember Ish. Remember Ish said, I think he was like aiming to have it done in like 9 months to a year, and we're coming up on a year, and I don't think it's very close to being done. But he makes really good content. I think it's worth whatever weight is required. And I know Ish a little bit. We've talked from time to time. He is a very talented creator. So
I would
I have
love to
faith
get
it'll be a good video.
Ish on the podcast, but he's a
How do I?
busy man. I don't think
Oh, he's a very busy man.
such a busy man
I
that
know
it
that.
might never happen, but one day
You
maybe.
never know.
One day.
One day, one day.
Yeah, for sure. Now, okay, so talking about cast, we kind of got on a tangent there, but going back to cast, I was
Mhm.
wondering with the characters, because obviously by now some of the characters are
Oh yes.
announced. By the time you're watching this, maybe all of them have been announced. But each of the
Mhm.
content creators are playing their own unique players. I was wondering, have they created these characters like themselves from their own imagination? Have they had like help? Or these like characters like you've created and they've kind of picked them out like, oh, I want to play this one? Or how does the character creation process kind of work there?
So this event is one of those events where every single character needed to be meticulously created and added in. So what we did was we started by inviting the creators, no characters in mind, and this was back in April, and we gave them a form, and a majority of them got back, and we let them kind of just we said just like give us recommendations. I gave a massive list of suggestions, like stuff that we'd probably want or need, like for example, like Alt, for example, Altiera, Allison Terra. She was announced in the second post. She was a senator. That was like one of the ones that we wanted filled. Like we wanted a government, like high up government official, like a senator. So that form had a bunch of options, and then we also had a small thing on the bottom where they could suggest their own. Some people, most of the creators took some of the options we gave them and then kind of built a character off of that. A couple did their own thing entirely. Once we had all of the form responses, our lead writer, King of Player 2, went through and melded those characters to the story. So it's kind of a mix. The initial idea of the characters and such was mainly picked by the creators, but once we had the general like archetype, we wrote everything else because it was a very complex thing. Every This murder mystery is very detail oriented, and every single character has an important part in the event. Like if a creator doesn't show up, we would need a sub in. It would be very hard for us to run the event without any of the given creators because they're just that important to the story. Um, it is so meticulously crafted. Obviously, I can't say much because all that's been released is just who's playing who and their basic archetype, but every character has an in-depth backstory with connections and reasons why they did certain things. It is fascinating. We had to make character sheets and give them to the creators so they knew who they knew in the universe and how they knew them and how they knew me. And I think in total that those character sheets added up to a little under like 100 pages of text.
Wow, that's interesting
it
to see
it
how much planning
it's a
has gone
lot.
into this. So this
And that was mainly King of Player 2. The lead writer did 90. I wrote a little bit with him and I helped him proofread stuff because it's a lot of work. And he went above and beyond and added so much extra detail that I didn't even originally expect. But he did like a good 95% of the writing, and it's phenomenal. I obviously cannot release the character sheets yet. I wish I could because people would eat them up. They are amazing.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. So this the event is kind of structured like almost D&D in a way where the story itself is kind of like scripted out to some extent, and the characters know who they're playing,
Yes.
they know what they need to know, but they can kind of influence and affect the story in their own kind of way to some extent.
Yes, exactly. We have an interesting way of the the story has been blocked out. I can't say too much, obviously, because we haven't really given too much away from the community from for the event. But I can give a little bit of insight. So the way that we kind of set up the event is all of the main plot points, including how the event ends, has already been blocked out. But everything else is kind of up to the creators. There's a couple like things that each creator will be tasked to do and some other stuff, and obviously they have character connections, so there's some like setup interactions, but for the most part, once they get in the event, they can definitely mold the story, especially after the murder occurs, which I will not say more after, of how that occurred or what. But after the murder occurs, it's pretty much open range for the characters to mingle and create the story from there. But it is definitely more linear than like your, Decayed and Decrepit, for example, the series made by Magic Sings and stuff, where I do think that one was more open ended than this one. This one's very, very, very narratively like written out already, which I think is a good thing for this type of event. It keeps the story concise and it makes sure because murder mysteries can be super confusing. So I like that we have those things blocked out. So no matter what really happens in an event, everybody will be able to experience the story front to back.
Yeah, for sure. That's really, like, interesting to hear of, like, because that must have taken, like, a lot of work to, like I was always
Hmm.
already shocked when you said, like, you were working on the character sheets, but blocking out, like, an entire story, like, you're writing novels over here at
Yes,
this point to get this story, like,
it's
so
it's
particular.
almost there.
How many,
It
like,
is.
drafts have you gone through of, like, the story? How many times you've, like, rewritten parts and things like that? Do you know the
This
number?
is where King of Player 2 would be best. He has been working on this story. I remember when we first started and he had like a whiteboard and he just started like throwing names down and connecting people, um, and just putting up connections and such. And I mean, he's been working on it for 4 months. This is an absurdly, he could have written a good, I mean, he kind of did with how many character sheets, but like he could have written a good bit of like a book in that time. Like this is an incredibly focused narrative.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he has spent an absurd amount of time. I got a little sidetracked on the question.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear, like, all of your team is putting in, like, a ton of work to on this. Your
Yes,
team is
so
incredible.
much,
How many
so
members
so
are, like,
much.
in your team in total, like, rough estimate? Can you say that?
Yeah, I would say like I want to say 30 to 40. Like
Wow.
it's Now these are all like, because well, for example, you got the almost 20 builders. There's about 10 event staff, and then we got some extra like people playing roles in the events. So in total, yeah, I'd say like, yeah, like around 30. I would say like total people who in one way or another like put a substantial amount of effort into this project. It was a lot of work from so many people to make this come to life.
Yeah, that's insane. Because I mean, finding all of those people is a hard thing as well, like, finding this
Yes.
team and everything. I'm really interested. How did you come across, like, some of these people? Because obviously, I know you mentioned, like, your lead builder is someone like, a friend of yours and someone that you've known for a while, but you still have the other 30, like, plus people. How did you come across, like, searching for these people? Did you find them online, or, like, how does that process work?
Essentially, I met people through state. I was in 2.7 issues 2.7 purge events, and I just met a lot of people through that community. Capitice was a Ministry of Truth member, and I met him through that. I was in the Ministry of Truth. You have no idea what that is, but you will when you see the video. And I met him through that. And after the event, we hopped in VC together because he really liked my story in the 2.7 events, and we were just chatting about stuff. And he opened up an old plugin I made for a purge event that I hosted like 8 months before Ish did, and mind you, two completely separate events. Like they just happened to both be called the Purge. But I had a plugin literally called like Purge Event Plugin, and that was the plugin that inspired Zombie Civ, which was my first Civ event. And he once I gave him that plugin, he just kind of like started tweaking, like tinkering with it, and such. And once I had Kappa, the team kind of expanded from there. It was mainly just like applications in my Discord. All of the music I made for 2.7 got me a lot of attention, enough attention in the community to like kind of get people to know who I was. And from there, it just kind of was people knowing who I was, signing up for
So a lot of
roles.
this lineup is
A
kind of
lot of staff is like
state,
people I met during
and I'm wondering if
2.7.
that was
So
kind
yeah,
of
just connections,
influenced by,
connections,
you
and
being in state, and that's why you kinda chosen some of these people. How does that kind of work? How do you get the connections to all of these state people, especially the ones that you didn't know directly?
I met Alt, and Alt got Soliv, and then a lot of it was just like Saparata was briefly in 2.7. I won't say anything else because that might be spoilers, but he was briefly in 2.7. But a lot of these people were just names I saw in state. Um, and just like honestly, in the time between Meadowgloom invites went out and my 2.7 stuff, I was like in group chats with some of them. Like I was in group chats with like Zappy and Madsby and stuff, invited to like different miscellaneous small things. And that kind of helped me build up this like roster and community of people I knew in the community. Um, so that was the main contribution of state, and that's also why there's so many state people. Is just because I'm in the community, and due to my role in 2.7, I ended up like meeting some of the stars of the past video.
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause obviously, this is diving into a whole different thing.
Hmm.
Obviously, the Rich versus Poor video, which is one of I think is now Ish's most viewed video, I believe. Or
Pretty sure,
it's
it,
at
if not, it's
least
close.
very popular, and it is a masterpiece. I watched it in a few sittings, and it was probably one of the greatest Minecraft videos that I've seen. It's truly incredible. So the people
It
from that are
is.
gonna be really interesting to see in this event and stuff, interacting again. Obviously, they've been
Mhm.
interacting in a lot of other places, but not really in this kind of like a role play context. So I think a lot of fans are really going to love to see them again, just interacting together, even if they don't technically know each other. It's gonna be great to see them together, interacting and just being together.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. That's actually something. There was like a little bit of a wave of like role play events that I've been seeing crop up, and that kind of inspired me to do this, right? And it got me to get all this cast. Something I didn't realize until after I kind of got all these people together was that this cast is like very, very state centric, like to more than I originally expected, which is just, by happenstance, I'm in the community and a lot of these people I knew prior from some form or fashion. But like, I did realize this is probably the first major event that's like roleplay centric. That isn't like this is the first major event that isn't literally a 2.5 based event like the anniversary that has this cast. Because it really is a good majority of the 2.5 cast, which was, I'm not gonna lie, mostly on accident. I didn't realize till after we had the final list, and I was like, oh, this is literally every nation leader. Oops.
Oops.
Yeah, no, so it's exciting, and I hope the state community enjoys. Ish's video is Ish's channel, and I've spoke with Ish, and he's a big inspiration both as a content creator I've watched and as somebody I've spoken to briefly. Um, like most of my content, because I don't have any YouTube videos out yet because they're quite extensive, and I'm working on them. Like Meadowgloom Manor will have one, but like my YouTube content is heavily inspired by his videos. I look to his videos as like a quality standard. I obviously cannot hit them personally because he has quite the big team, but like I look to them as inspiration and as like a bar to try to reach towards because of just how high quality they are. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's really cool. But, kind of getting away from Megaloo Manor, you're kind of a new
yeah,
creator, and this is
correct,
gonna
yeah.
be a very big, like, kind of kickoff, I would say, for, like, your career as long as it goes well. I mean, the
Yeah.
video's gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
views, you've gonna have a piece of content that has some of the biggest creators currently in the Minecraft space. Well, not like biggest, but as in I would say as in most well-known creators. Like if you think about the Minecraft space right now, some of the first creators that come to my mind are these people that you've just seen in like Ish's video. Because it's been a year
Mhm.
now and people are still talking about these creators and like Sap and Fluxion and even people like um I gotta get the list of people. Oh my goodness. I forget their names. There's so many of them.
Mhm. Oh,
But Saps and Fluxion and people like Seneca and Spchood, Spood's really big in the space right now, obviously because of his Hamilton. But you've got
yeah.
some of the biggest creators in the space, so it's gonna be a really big kickoff for your career. So, big question that I have for you, which I don't know if you're gonna be
Mhm.
ready for this one yet, is what's next?
Ooh, 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 ooh. That is a tough one. That's gonna be, I mean, well, here, I can tell you what's next, like in the literal sense, which is the YouTube videos for my events. I am currently working on a YouTube video for my Zombie Civ event, which does not feature the same roster. It is a much more niche roster, but that that event, the storyline that took place in that 5 day Civ event was, in my opinion, one of the coolest stories in like the MCYT space, in like the Civ space. It was such an insane journey, of which yeah, it was an insane journey, and that video's in the works right now. It's a little under halfway done. I obviously had to put it aside for a couple weeks to focus on Meadowgloom, but that's like a major piece of content that's coming out. It's probably gonna be like an hour and a half, and then of course also the Meadowgloom video. I am going to be making a video on Meadowgloom. I really enjoy making YouTube videos, and I'm decently proficient at editing. So that's like the main thing I'm working towards now is like now that I have all these creators and all these like this cool network of people, I'm trying to make sure that like the YouTube side of things, which is where a lot of my creative energy truly goes, is like up and running, which will start to blossom over the course of the next few months as the Meadowgloom video is produced and finished, and as that big Zombie Civ video drops, which is going to be, I think, quite the debut for a YouTube channel with like 300 subs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your debut is gonna be incredible. Yeah, I'm
Thank
very
you. I
excited
appreciate
to
it.
see that video, and especially the Metagloom video it's gonna be great. I'm very excited to see it.
Oh,
It's
there's
gonna
so
be
much stuff.
masterpieceful.
Thank you. Yeah, there's gonna be so much stuff that you aren't gonna be able to see in the original live streams, um, that I'm gonna include in that. It's gonna be a really good time. I'm very excited for the community to see the actual like compressed down video versions of the content that I've done so far, the events I've hosted.
Yeah, so you were talking there about live streams. Do
Mm.
have all creators confirmed like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be live for the event and stuff," or you have some that
A
kind of aren't?
good majority.
Good majority.
I know most of them live stream, and I think a lot of them are in some shape or form like planning on live streaming, even if it's not something they normally do. There might be a couple that don't, but the whole point of the event, for the most part, is that you can watch it from every perspective. Because let's say you watch the event from like my perspective, or like one of like the just any of the perspectives. That's only one slice of this event. I would be there's 22 creators plus me is 23. So if you watch one VOD, one perspective, you've gotten 1/23 of the story.
Yeah.
So it's quite a it's cool that everyone's live streaming because you can go back and see it from every perspective, and every perspective is going to be drastically different because every perspective has their own motivations and story. Um, so I I I hope that everybody streams or that a good majority. If they don't, I am going to be collecting recordings obviously for the main video, and I'll see if I can get permission to post like the recording or have them post it on their personal channels. But I want to say like a large majority, if not all the guests, will be streaming or some way document their experience so it can be watched from every viewable perspective.
Wow, it's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be a big day for Twitch having all of these like Twitch and like YouTube having all these humongous creators all live at the same time playing one event. It's gonna be incredible to see, honestly.
I am excited to see the numbers. It's going to be a lot for me because I currently average like 10 to 20, like yeah, like 15 viewers on my streams. So having an event where people like Saparata will be playing it to hundreds of people on average is crazy, and that's just one of the 22. So it's yeah, it's gonna be a big jump when it comes to like the community that I have currently. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very excited. I don't know who I haven't decided who I'm gonna be watching yet.
There's there's a lot of good options.
I might just set it up like I've got 4 at the same time, just to flip for the story.
You might want to. The amount of FOMO people are gonna feel by just not being able to physically watch all 20 perspectives. There is so much going on in that manner. It like even I'm gonna feel FOMO because I'm only one guy with one set of eyes that is currently playing and streaming. So I so it's really it's yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I do recommend get the Five Nights at Freddy's setup going where you're swapping through 22 different or 23 different perspectives.
But I'm gonna feel really bad for the person who starts their live stream, and even though they know they're the person that's about to get killed, like, cause I mean, it's gonna be one of the people. They start their live
Hmm.
stream, they get all their viewers to turn in, and then they're dead, and they're just like, "Well, then the stream got." I feel
Well,
terrible
I
for the
will say
person.
one thing. I'm cool with disclosing this information because it's not really like story based, but the way we're formatting the event is like a three act system. I'm not going to explain what each act is because that's into spoiler territory, but I can tell you that the first act is before the murder. There is a definitive cut between before the murder and after the murder, and before the murder is going to be like a good chunk of the entire event, to kind of set things up and get everything in order. So there will be a lot of time for the one who does perish to still participate and be active. So it'll no matter what perspective you have or no matter what you're doing in the event, there's still a bunch to do. But no, it is definitely gonna be a shame for the person who has to shut off their stream.
But they'll at least
Um,
get a little bit of content.
oh yeah,
They'll get
exactly.
something out of it.
They will get something.
One thing I was interested in, this is completely regarded to what we're talking about because we just cut out a huge behind the scenes kind of thing. Nothing spoiler
Yes.
related, but just like a little conversation me and him were having. But I noticed there was a ton of invites sent out. I counted, there's like more than the announced players. is that just because, like, now I'm talking
Oh,
about the
those invites.
physical invites. Did you just send some out just to mess, or, like, is it because more people got accepted than you knew? I'm interested.
So, um, so all the invites that are publicly available on Twitter, um, those are all accepted people, the official ones. There were a lot of goofy fake ones that I personally I thought were hilarious, by the way. To everyone who did like a fake invite, if you are somehow hearing this, that made my day. I thought they were really funny, especially some of the joke ones. Like Jevil sent one out that was like a poorly drawn rendition, and it got like censored by Twitter for some reason. I was like, that's hilarious. Or like John Top's one was also really funny. But no, so some people on their own fruition sent out an invite as a joke. The only ones that were like actually officially asked to be sent out were all the real ones, and there were actually technically, I think less. I think there was 21.
Oh,
If star of Shamilton Edhead was actually a last minute addition. He subbed in for someone else. So already pre-established character, and he actually hopped into the role. So there were actually technically less invites than the original allotted
interesting.
amounts. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just got fooled by some of them then. Because I was
Yeah,
counting
you
them, I
you
was like, "There's a lot
probably
of them."
did.
I guess I genuinely
Yeah, a
that
lot
they
of
looked real. They did a good job.
yeah. They were, I mean, well, the thing that differentiated ours is that all of the official ones had a quote that was in character, except for Spchood. Spchood's was really funny.
I laughed at
He was one of
Spoods.
the last ones.
I thought
Yeah,
Spoods was fake
and
for a second, honestly.
I did too. He's in the event, and I get a text from Kappa, and it's of Spood's invite, and it's like, oh, I spilled Yohurts all over my invite, and I was like, is this him doing a fake invite for the fake out for his real invite, or is that literally his character quote? And I learned it was literally his character quote, which I think is really
Yeah,
funny.
Spoods' character must be something, because I don't think, correct me if
Mm.
I'm wrong, I don't think his character has been announced yet as the date of recording this yet.
Oh no, it has.
Oh, it
It was one of the
has?
first ones.
I didn't know
He
he
is
was
the it
in
should be
the
the
early lifesteal.
distinguished
Not lifesteal. I
and
didn't know he was
no,
in the early
um
roster.
the announcements.
Because I noticed,
He
I'm
was in the first one. The
yeah,
Saps, Flux, and Spood were the original trio in the first post that went out a couple days ago.
yeah. So his character is gonna be really cool. Because I didn't know if he got
Oh
announced in
yeah,
that wave of state people. Because I know the state people are kind of split up in, I'm assuming groups, but time will tell.
time will
Time
tell.
will tell. He's not gonna say anything, guys.
Crickets noise.
Yeah. But that's
Hmm.
that's really cool to hear about those invites. I honestly had no clue.
Yeah,
But
those made my day. Like genuinely a lot of them, especially hosting an event like this can be not due to really any external factors, just with how much there was to do, can be quite a heavy task. And seeing some of those fake invites really lightened up my mood, like a lot. It was really so I really did appreciate them. They were very funny.
yeah, for sure. Um, what I'm interested in is if this event does well, which I assume it's going to go well. Do
I
you
hope so.
see your
I hope so.
yeah, you hope so. Do you see yourself doing like a part two with like a different cast? Do you see yourself bringing the Lord Byewill character back in the same mansion and hosting another party? Is that's like a like story concept that you dived into if this event end up ends up doing really
Crickets
well?
noise. Crickets noise.
Crickets noise.
Can't say anything. Crickets noise. Crickets noise. You can leave in my crickets noise. I'm cool with it being that part can stay in just but I will give no answer. I will simply allow it to speak for itself and you'll see where things go.
You see, he's saying that because his character dies at the beginning.
I'm saying that because Meadowgloom Manor 2 through 55 have all been planned out already. And they're all happening a week apart. Yeah.
That was a joke, I think.
Yes, yes, it is a joke.
So obviously, the mansion itself, and there's a ton of secrets behind like the mansion. There's a ton of secrets with the invites. Now, obviously, if I told you to say go in depth about the secrets, they wouldn't be secrets, so I can't ask about those yet. But I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
ask what kind of made you want to make this all so mysterious? Was it just the vibe of the event, or were there any references or kind of things that made you want to make it mysterious? I was just wondering what made you want to make it so mysterious and ominous.
So here's a little thing for the Meadowgloom Manor iceberg that probably won't exist, but I was originally not even going to reveal it was a murder mystery. The genuine original marketing plan was because we were going for this like mystique, like this mysteriousness, was to not even mention it was a murder mystery. Obviously, you can kind of guess it, and just straight up like say I was hosting a ball with a bunch of creators. Um, but I ended up realizing that I kind of wanted people to know something about the event than just going in completely blind. But there are loads of secrets, and the main reason is to match the general theme and vibe of the character Lord Byewill, which is that he in lore is a very mysterious person. Nobody knows his name. Nobody knows where he came from. A lot of the people who he's connected to have really no idea who he actually is, other than he's this like rich guy who has a manor in Meadowgloom. So it's supposed to match the general vibe of no one really knowing anything. Um, and so yeah, and all that mystique is entirely on purpose. There's so much I want to reveal because this event is extremely juicy with in my opinion, one of the coolest stories I've ever like personally been able to like read. And because King is just the best writer ever. And I would love to tell the community all this cool stuff, but I have to just keep my mouth shut and just let the event speak for itself when it happens. Because there's so many, like I cannot stress enough, so many cool secrets and details. There's side plots and all these crazy things, and I can't say any of it. I just have to let it. I can't mention any of those contents or any of the happenings that will happen. Just gotta wait till the event drops and all the POVs go out.
Yeah, but the community themselves has been trying to figure out them secrets alone. There is obviously a channel in your Discord where it's just called
Yes.
Manor Theories, and it's like I'm scrolling through it right now. It is hundreds. I'll check the number actually. It's like hundreds of messages of just no, okay. Hundreds is an understatement. It's actually 1,000 messages of just people
Mhm.
trying to figure out what in the world is going on with this mansion and its secrets. So without you even giving much knowledge, they've taken to their own regards and just trying to come up with things. I'm interested how
Oh
you
yeah,
feel about that.
we've had some wild theories in there, and I can't say how accurate they may or may not be, obviously. But no, I've seen some insanely cool theories. It's been it is crazy, but I won't say anything about how valid they are because obviously that would be a little bit of a spoiler now, wouldn't
Mm,
it?
it would be spoiler. We can't spoil anything yet,
Exactly.
but I've loved reading through them. I've scrolled through a little bit of them, and they
Mhm.
all these people are just going insane. Yeah, like they're physically going insane. Actually, someone needs to go check on them.
Mhm. Someone should go check on that. Yeah, yeah, probably. But that's part of the fun. I actually that was my main hope was that people would just go rampant with theories and just like have a really good time trying to figure out the world we built. And they have definitely done that, and it's
They
pretty
have
cool to see.
they've provided for sure. This community is so cool. Because I've seen obviously
Thank
a ton
you.
of people reacting to it. And what I'm really excited for is after this event happens, I think people are gonna cosplay it. I honestly think it's gonna be like state
I hope
and
so.
people are gonna cosplay. 'Cause
Oh, there's already Oscar Rex cosplay, so that's already a thing.
I might cosplay it at this point because some of the characters are
Hell yeah.
so cool. Like,
These are really cool characters.
I haven't seen all of the skin, but I imagine your skin is gonna look so cool. Well, I guess I have seen it today. I can't remember what it
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like,
it's in the trailer.
but it is a
Yes.
really cool skin from what I remember. The skins
Thank
are
you.
so cool. Who's doing all the skins? How big of a team do you have for that stuff?
Skin team volunteer of like group of like I want to say 7 people. We
Wow,
had a
that's a
lot
lot.
of people from like the other teams kind of volunteer. My skin was made by Data Frames. They're a skin artist. They mainly do stuff for Soul of and Alt. I met them through I met them through originally doing the skins for Soul of and or planning to do the skins for Soul of and Alt, and I was like, their work was really good, so I asked them to do mine, and they did a phenomenal job. I That design is really good. I'm so happy with the Lord Byewill design. It is perfect.
Yeah, because there's obviously like a ton of skins you have to do. You have for the main like 23
Yes,
player roster. Then you have side characters. For what I know, this is just off of my head. You've got the librarian. Then you've got there's servants that's going around as well. I think Lady oh what's her name?
Lady Angel.
Lady Angel. I don't think she is
Yes.
she played by one of the creators or does she have her own kind of person?
She is played by a creator who is also my girlfriend.
Yeah,
um,
I'd assume that.
yes, and she is playing Lady Angel. Yes, she isn't technically like there's two like types of players. There's the main roster of guests, and then there's the like the characters that live inside the manor. And she is one of the characters that lives inside the manor, so it is a little different. She's technically not one of the featured like creators, but she is a creator in her own right, and she also has her own like skin and such and her own character. Um, we in
Interesting.
total have a lot of people. We have I won't say the exact number, but
Yeah.
just take the amount of creators and you can almost double it for the amount of housekeepers.
Really? Wow,
Yes, this
that's
manor is going to
and
have a
that's
lot
just
of people in it.
housekeepers. Wow. That's
Yes,
that is a
it's going to
lot.
be a lot. We are going to the server list for this. I have I won't say the exact amount again, but I have a like a master list of every single person playing, and we have well over what you might expect. It's a
You
lot.
have an insanely beefy server then.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, I don't worry. I always overspend on those. Are you kidding me?
I wonder
I have an
who's
insane rig.
doing the hosting for that? Is it a personal one or is it
It is a server host that I use. I've used them for a while. Server host is Wet.
Ooh.
I've used them for a really long time. Been pretty reliable overall. I won't go on a big spiel. There we go. But they've been reliable enough for me for the most part. So I'm using them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a beefy server. Don't you worry.
it's gonna
If
run
this
great.
lags, I will lose my mind.
If it lags. Whew. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm so excited for the event personally.
Heck yeah,
I
thank you.
I've said it many times. Like there's gonna be a count of how many times I've said that, but this
You
event,
said that. Yeah.
I'm very excited to watch it myself because I'm gonna be watching on the day of and
Heck yeah.
seeing
August
if any
8th.
of my theories are right.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Oh
I've
it
got my own from this
you
interview.
yeah, I mean build them, dude. See what
Oh my
happens.
goodness.
See what
The
comes of it.
Manners Theories channel is gonna go wild after this comes out.
Oh my God.
Hey,
I think the
to
best
hello to
part.
all of them, by the way.
Oh
Hi
yeah.
guys.
No, yeah, all the manor in my Discord, the people who get pinged for the manor stuff are called manor aficionados. Hello, manor aficionados. Y'all are gonna be in for a treat. The best part too is things may change, but how I'm looking at it now, because technically only the first part of the event is the live streams, the second part is the video I make afterwards. I'm not even going to fully release all the information about the event. There will still be questions to ask when it's all over. At least I think.
Interesting.
So I'm hoping that even post event, people will be like scrambling to go through all the VODs and trying to figure out info on stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is 23 different perspectives of this event, so it's quite a lot of information to digest.
Yeah, it's gonna be a ton of information. Like all of these people who are so interested in this event, it's they're gonna have so many POVs to watch. I mean, 23 POVs, and the event's gonna be somewhere around like an hour to 2 hours. I don't know if you can say that.
I will say it's going to be a little longer. I would more in the range say it's planned to be about 3 to 4 maybe 5, depending on how long the cast takes to solve the mystery.
Just for reference, I'm interested to share this stat. Um,
Hmm.
if it is 5 hours in total, to, if it is 5 hours in total, that's gonna be 115 hours of footage, and that's a lot of obviously, people are gonna watch the whole POVs when it comes out. That's gonna be 115
Yes,
hours
it's
of
it's
just
a lot of
pure
content.
footage, and that's I mean I don't even know if I'm gonna I'm like that might take me a month. I'm just gonna stop watching Netflix for a month, and if I get bored, I'll just go
Just
watch
put on Meadowgloom
just put on
POV.
Meadowgloom Manor.
Oh my God.
Like,
I mean, I hope so. This event is the collective effort of, I'm gonna be real, I would say hundreds, but it's probably more like thousands. Actually, no, it's not probably. It is over 1,000 hours of collective work
wow.
from the team. And and obviously, like I've joked and I've told them like, hey, I promise the next one won't be literally one day, so your work has a little more breathing room. But I think it might make up for it in just how potent all of the event is. There really, for the most part, won't be downtime. Something will always be happening somewhere to somebody, where all the POVs should be a pretty consistent flow of interesting and new perspective of information. I I can't really think of a time during the event where people will just be sitting around and doing nothing. It's my hope for this is that it is a constant like thrill start to finish. No real like, live stream moment where you're kind of sitting around for 20 minutes with nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I hope the experience of, because there are going to be people, me included, most likely, who go through and watch all of the VODs to see all the perspectives. And I'm pretty sure it'll at least be like a very entertaining watch because all of them should have something going on pretty frequently.
I mean, like 115 hours. Just to put this to scale, because I was really interested, I just Googled this. That would be about
Yeah.
the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Hey,
Like
yeah.
like, that's insane, but I think it's gonna be epic to see. And there's gonna be some people, like, with state events where they're gonna wait until, like, an official video comes out, until a compilation of all of the POVs and
Mhm.
stuff eventually comes out, which after hearing the 115-hour number, I have a feeling it might be a while.
Might be a little bit.
Might just be
It
a
might be. It
little
might be.
bit.
I'm gonna try my best to get it out. The one benefit of this event is that because so much of it is like, been written, like, all the characters and everything have been written. I don't have to like research what happened. I already have it all written out very clearly. So I do get the benefit of having most of the information in my hands already. The main thing is parsing through it once the event really, like, the information that comes from just the creators being willy-nilly on their own. That's
Yeah.
where piercing through or parsing through 100+ hours of content comes in.
Yeah, they're gonna have fun with that. Just, like,
Oh
all
yeah.
all of that footage, just going through it.
It's gonna be a good time. I really enjoy making
It's
videos. I'm
gonna
so
be a
stoked
great
for the
time.
world to see all of like the to see my video style and such. I think it's a really fun, unique style, and I think
Yeah.
people are gonna really like
I'm really
it.
interested to see that style as well, because I imagine it's gonna
Heck yeah.
draw some inspiration on Ish, but everyone who draws inspiration of how Ish edits his videos, they all put this own, like, twist on it, and I'm really interested to
My
see
style's
how you do
100%.
that.
100% style by or inspired by Ish. It is like guaranteed. It is because his videos are just like the golden standard. But no, I don't. But I definitely don't copy. It is like my own definitive style. I have a very like particular way I write and a way I voice things, and I think that that's gonna be. Hopefully, people enjoy it. I mean, that's it is. It is the most like people might think that the most like raw form of my creativity comes from streams because I'm live. But if I'm being honest, I think the best look into like you know my creative soul is from my YouTube videos because I just work on them extensively. I dump my heart and soul into those things. You have no idea. Oh my God, the zombie sim video alone has been like just an absolute. It's been a great time, but it's been a massive test on my ability to like really to write and to be myself and to put together an original piece of content that's so lengthy and compressed with information.
Yeah, but in that vein, is there any other videos that you plan on making, like, outside of creator events or outside of civ events, do you have other ideas that are kind of lurking around in your head?
I do plan to make a like a clips channel for my live streams. I already have a team of 4 people. My goats, the Bylandia production team. Um, they help me work on the videos as volunteers. That's super awesome. There's 4 of us. They mainly help with getting flashback shots. They were mainly working with me on ZC, Zombie Civ. But I do plan to open up like a clips channel for my live streams, and I'm hoping to give like to in some way, shape, or form give them a cut or pay them for that and make that a separate content avenue. So in the sense of like, what I'm doing in the future, that I'm doing that, but that's quite a generic thing that like most streamers
Hmm.
do. As for like major events, cricket noise.
Cricket
I will
noise.
say nothing. I will say nothing.
Now,
Uh,
you guys don't realize how many cricket noises I've cut out of this probably, but there's a lot of things that are
Have been
secret
very
about this.
secretive.
But for a secret murder mystery man, I mean, what can you expect?
Makes sense.
This is
Yeah,
how I
exactly.
expected a lot of this interview to go. I'd be like, "Can you say that?" I was like, "Cricket."
No,
But
I
it's
cannot.
been a great time, honestly.
uh,
Yapping and all of this about just seeing what I can't, seeing what he's gonna give away, seeing what he's not gonna give away.
mhm.
It's been so fun. But I think we're gonna end it off here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm probably gonna have links to your stream, your Twitch channel, if you want to watch his
Yes,
POV,
thank you.
or if you want to watch any other POVs, I'll find a way to get them in the description somehow. I'll work it out.
I already got you covered.
You've got me
I'm
covered.
gonna
That's
have a
great.
master list I'm gonna have a directory on Discord under the Manor section, with
That will
every
be in the
single stream
description.
linked. So discord.gg/Byewill, best way
Yes,
to get to me.
go there.
Um,
You can check it out.
yeah.
I will put that link in the description. Obviously, go join the Discord. It's gonna have a ton of updates and things that are gonna get talked
Oh
about
yeah.
after this interview. Not all of the players have been announced yet. There's a ton of stuff that has not been talked about this interview, just solely because it has not come out yet. So if you want to see any of that, go join the Discord. Go follow Byewill on Twitter as well, because that's where you would get the announcements first before you get them on Discord.
Yes.
Not by a
Very
lot
briefly.
early. Yeah, for like maybe
About
20
by 15
seconds.
seconds. Yeah.
But if you really want some insight, go do that.
That's the spot.
But with that, we're going to end it here. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Crafting Conversations. But for now, goodbye.